Really not supposed to be doing anything else on Yom Kippur, you might as well go to 5 services. That could take all day. Greetings, hero. It is I, your friendly neighborhood rabbi, and today we are going to talk about the 5 different services over the arc of the day that is Yom Kippur. As a day of complete rest, as it says in the Torah, in which we're not supposed to eat or drink or do anything else remotely fun, what else are you going to do but spend most of or the entire day in the synagogue? And in just a moment, I'll tell you what to expect over the course of that day. But first, a quick tip for those of you who are just joining us for the first time. This video is a part of a longer 31-day fall Jewish holiday challenge. If you want to learn more about that, click on the first link you see in the show notes below, and you can sign up to receive a downloadable guide to the Jewish holidays for free, plus links to all 31 of these holiday videos that are designed to give you an informed experience this year, and an informed experience is a more meaningful and joyful experience for you. And if you sign up for this challenge before the end of August, you could actually win a starter Jewish library. Kind of like this one, only smaller, but it's probably like that big, or that big. It's a lot of books. But enough about that, let's get into it. The Jewish holiday of Yom Kippur, in addition to being considered the holiest day of the year on the Jewish calendar, is unique among all holidays in that it has 5 distinct services for the holiday. It is considered a Shabbat Shabbaton, a day of complete rest, or a Sabbath above all Sabbaths. But unlike Shabbat, that has 4 services during the day. That is the evening service, the morning service, the additional service, and the afternoon service. Yom Kippur has 1 more service than that, and we're going to talk about all 5 of them right now. The first service, just like on Shabbat or any other holiday or really any other day of the week, is the Mariv service, also known as Arvit. These are 2 different Hebrew words that mean evening. And guess when it happens? That's right, it's an evening service. And that means it includes our normal Baruch Hu, the call to prayer, followed by the Shema, our central declaration of the unity of God, and the blessings that come before and after that, and a silent Amidah, or standing prayer or standing meditation. In many ways similar to other evening services throughout the year, except for one important unique feature, and that is Kol Nidre, or Kol Nidre if you want to get fancy. Kol Nidre is an element of the prayer service that only happens on Erev Yom Kippur, that is the night that begins the Day of Atonement. And the words Kol Nidre means all vows. We'll dig a little deeper into the contents and meaning of Kol Nidre in the next video, but for right now, you should know that that happens in the evening service, which is the first of 5 services of Yom Kippur. The second service is Shachrit, which just means morning prayers. Again, Shachrit or morning prayers is something that Jewish tradition has us do potentially every single morning, except on Yom Kippur, it's longer. There are many insertions of piyutim, which we talked about in Rosh Hashanah, piyutim being liturgical poems of the rabbinic or medieval era that are added to make the holiday services a little more special than usual. Just like on Shabbat, we have a Torah service right after Shachrit, where we read prescribed selections from the Torah and a Haftarah reading from the prophets, followed by the third service, and that is Musaf. Musaf means the additional service, which is a nod to the days when we sacrifice things in a temple in Jerusalem. And as the Torah says, most weekdays you have sacrifices 3 times a day. On Shabbat and holidays, you have sacrifices 4 times a day. And now that we don't do sacrifices of animals or produce anymore, instead of having that additional sacrifice, we have an additional prayer service. In fact, the Musaf or additional service of Yom Kippur is unique in that no other time of the year we have this thing called the Avodah service, which specifically describes and has us meditate on how Aaron and the high priests in temple days would atone for the sins of themselves and the priestly community, and lastly, the whole community of Israel. That's in the Yom Kippur Musaf service. Fourth, we have Mincha. The word Mincha means a grain offering, but in the context of prayer, it also just means the afternoon service, because the afternoon service is when they would offer grain in the temple days. And the Mincha service on Yom Kippur has an Amidah, just like every weekday Mincha service, but like a Shabbat Mincha service, it also has a reading. And the notable reading of the Yom Kippur afternoon service is we read in public the entire book of Yonah, or Jonah, the fish one. So that's 4 services that we have, just like any other Shabbat or holiday. What's the 5th one that makes Yom Kippur unique? The 5th service of Yom Kippur is Ne'ilah, or Nila. The word Nila means locking or closing. And this specifically refers to our ancient rabbis' vision of the gates of heaven being open to accept our prayers on Yom Kippur. And as Yom Kippur comes to an end, those gates close and lock. This isn't to say that you're not allowed to pray for stuff or ask for forgiveness after Yom Kippur. It's just saying that whatever atonement you have to make for this Yom Kippur specifically, you need to get it done by sundown. And to make sure you have the opportunity to do that, we have an additional service on the evening at the end of Yom Kippur. And this additional service that we don't have any other time of year has an extra recitation of the Amidah, or standing prayer. And the whole thing ends with a big blast of the shofar. And then you can go eat. Hero, thank you so much for watching this whole video in which we've covered the 5 services over the arc of Yom Kippur. That's Mariv with the Kol Nidre, that's Shachrit with a Torah service, that's Musaf with the Avodah service, a Mincha service with the fish story, and Nila or Ne'ilah, the final locking of the gates. Hopefully knowing this will have you less confused during a confusing and I'll say hungry time. And if you'd like to keep learning with me about the fall Jewish holidays, make sure you click on the first link in the show notes below, or mash this handy dandy orange square down there to make sure you get your downloadable holiday guide. You get links to all 31 videos about these holidays, and maybe even a starter Jewish library. Next time we're going to dig into Kol Nidre, the specific way that we start the Yom Kippur prayer services. And until then, Hero, peace.